I am Zara. I spend my time researching health and the ways our habits shape our lives. I am not a medical doctor. I am a researcher and a behavioral analyst who wants to help you understand your own body. Let us talk about a moment I know you have experienced. It is 9 in the evening. You finished your dinner a while ago and you were feeling fine. But suddenly, you find yourself standing in the kitchen. The light from the refrigerator is the only thing glowing in the dark. You are looking for something. You do not even know what it is, but you know you need it. Maybe it is something crunchy, or maybe it is something sweet. You are not actually hungry. If I offered you a bowl of plain broccoli right now, you would probably say no. That is because this is not about filling your stomach. This is the mystery of the late-night cookie monster. It is that version of you that takes over when the sun goes down. I want you to know that I am here as your friend to help you navigate this. We are not going to shame you or tell you that you are weak. In fact, I am going to tell you the opposite. You are not failing. Your brain is just trying to solve a problem the only way it knows how. Think of your brain like a smartphone. You have been using it all day. You have been opening apps, answering calls, and searching for information. By 9 at night, that battery is in the red zone. It is flickering. When your brain is running on empty, it stops thinking about your long-term goals. It starts looking for a quick way to plug in and get a burst of energy. To your brain, a cookie is not just a snack. It is a fast-charging cable. We are going to look at why your body is sending you these signals and how we can rewrite the script. You do not need more willpower. You just need to understand the science of why you are standing at that pantry in the first place. Let us get started. Meet Sarah. Sarah is what I call a daytime champion. She wakes up and has her lemon water and a tiny bowl of plain oats. She goes to work and ignores the donuts in the break room. For lunch, she has a salad that looks more like a bowl of grass than a meal. She feels proud, she feels in control. She tells herself that she is finally doing it right. But then, the sun goes down. Sarah gets home from a long day and suddenly it is like a switch flips inside her brain. That control she had all day, it vanishes. She finds herself standing in front of the open refrigerator, eating cheese slices and leftover pizza. Before she knows it, she has finished a bag of chips and is looking for chocolate. She feels like a failure. She thinks she lacks willpower. Here is the truth that Sarah does not see. That nighttime struggle was not a lack of discipline. It was a direct result of her perfect day. When you spend your entire day underfeeding your body, you are not being healthy. You are putting your internal systems into a state of emergency. Your body does not care about your fitness goals when it thinks it is starving. Think of your energy like a bank account. During the day, Sarah was making constant withdrawals without putting any money back in. By 7 in the evening, her account was overdrawn. Her brain triggered a massive hunger alarm because it needed energy immediately. It did not want a salad. It wanted fast energy, which usually means sugar and fats. Sarah thought she was being good during the day, but she was actually just building up a massive debt that her body was forced to collect at night. You cannot starve yourself for 12 hours and expect your brain to stay calm. The harder you pull the rubber band during the day, the harder it snaps back when you finally let go. You do not have a nighttime eating problem. You have a daytime fueling problem. Now, I want to address the biggest lie you have probably been told about health. We call it willpower. You have been led to believe that if you cannot say no to a cupcake or a bag of chips after a long day, you are somehow weak or lazy. You think it is a character flaw. I am here to tell you that is simply not true. When your brain realizes that you have not given it enough energy during the day, it goes into survival mode. It does not care about your long-term fitness goals or the jeans you want to fit into next month. It cares about right now. It is looking for the fastest, most concentrated source of energy it can find to keep your systems running. In the modern world, that source is sugar. Your brain is not trying to sabotage you. It is actually doing its job perfectly. It is an ancient machine that thinks you are stuck in a forest with no food in sight. When you finally sit down on the couch at night, and that voice in your head starts screaming for something sweet, that is not a lack of discipline. That is a biological demand. Think of your brain like a computer that is running on a 1% battery. It is going to dim the screen, close the background apps, and do whatever it takes to stay powered on. You cannot fight a survival instinct with a little bit of mental grit. You will lose that battle every single time because your body is much stronger than your conscious mind. Stop beating yourself up for being human. You are not broken. You do not need more discipline. You do not need a stricter set of rules or a more intense diet plan. What you need is to understand that your cravings are a message, not a failure. They are your body telling you that it is running on empty. When you stop fighting your biology and start working with it, the need for willpower almost completely disappears. Think about your energy like a roller coaster at a theme park. Most of us start our day by clicking into that little car and cranking it up the first big hill. You might grab a sugary cereal or a coffee with 3 pumps of syrup. You feel great for a minute. You are at the top of the track, looking at the view, feeling like you can take on the world. But what goes up must come down. That is just how the ride works. Suddenly, the car drops. Your energy levels plummet. By the time 3 in the afternoon rolls around, you are heading into a dark tunnel. You feel foggy. You feel irritable. This is the part where you reach for another snack or a soda, just to get back up that second hill. You are trying to keep the ride going, but the track is getting more and more shaky with every loop. Now, imagine it is 7 in the evening. You have been on this ride all day long. You have gone up and down 4 or 5 times already. Your body is completely exhausted. The car has finally come to a screeching halt at the bottom of the track. You are out of fuel. You are running on fumes. This is the exact moment when your brain starts screaming at you. It does not want a salad. It does not want a piece of grilled chicken. It wants the fastest, easiest energy it can find right now. In your body, that fast energy is sugar. Your brain knows that a cookie or a bag of chips will give it an immediate spark. It is a survival mechanism. Your body thinks it is in a genuine emergency because your energy is so low. It is not that you lack discipline. It is that you are at the bottom of a massive drop and your body is panicking to get back up. You are not weak for wanting that sugar. You are just stuck on a ride that you did not realize you were fueling. If you keep feeding the coaster, the ride never ends. So how do we stop the ride? I am Zara, and I am here to help you build an anchor on your plate so you can finally step off that roller coaster for good. Think of your dinner like a heavy anchor on a boat. Without it, you are just drifting wherever the waves take you. If you want to stop the late-night cravings, you have to change how you build your evening meal. There are 3 simple elements you need to include to keep your energy steady. The first element is your protein. I want you to think of this as the solid bricks of your meal. Your body has to work very hard to break these bricks down. This is a good thing, because it means the energy is released slowly and steadily. Whether you choose meat, eggs, or lentils, this is the part of the meal that tells your muscles they have what they need to repair themselves. If you do not have enough of this, your body will keep searching for more food until it finds it. The second element is fiber, which mostly comes from your vegetables. Think of these as the speed bumps on a busy road. When you eat a large portion of colorful vegetables, they physically slow down how fast everything else moves through your system. This prevents that massive energy spike that leads to a crash. It also fills up your stomach so you feel physically heavy and satisfied. You should aim to have these take up at least half of your plate. These vegetables do not have many calories, but they take up a lot of space. The third element is healthy fat. Think of this like a slow-burning log on a campfire. If you only throw dry leaves on a fire, it flares up and goes out. That is what happens when you eat sugary snacks. But a healthy fat, like olive oil or avocado, burns for a very long time. It does not catch flame instantly, but it keeps the fire going for hours. It signals to your brain that you are truly full. When you combine these 3 things, you create a meal that acts as a shield against that roller coaster. You are not just eating to survive the next hour. You are fueling yourself so you can actually relax. But let us be honest for a moment. You can eat the most perfect, balanced meal in the world and still find yourself standing in front of the pantry 10 minutes later. This is because sometimes your stomach is full, but your brain is still hungry for something else. I call this the search for the dopamine hug. Dopamine is just a fancy word for that tiny spark of joy your brain sends out when it thinks you have done something good. When you have had a long, stressful day where everything went wrong, your brain feels bruised. It wants a reward to make the bad feelings go away. It is looking for a shortcut to feel safe and happy again. Most of the time, We reach for a bag of chips or a sleeve of cookies because food is the fastest way to get that spark. It is like a warm blanket for your mind, but the feeling does not last. Once the snack is gone, the stress comes rushing back, often with a side of guilt. You do not actually want the cookies. You want to feel comforted. You want that hug. The good news is that you can give your brain that same sense of peace without opening the refrigerator. The first way to do this is by changing your physical environment to mimic that feeling of safety. Take a very hot shower or wrap yourself in a heavy, warm blanket. When your skin feels that heat, it sends a signal to your brain that the environment is safe, and you can stop being on high alert. It tricks your system into relaxing because it feels like a literal embrace. It is a physical way to calm the noise in your head. The second way is to find a small win. When we are stressed, we feel like we have lost control over our lives. Spend 5 minutes doing something that has a clear beginning and an end. This could be folding a single basket of laundry, or even just watering your plants. Finishing a task, no matter how small, gives your brain that same spark of achievement. It reminds you that you are capable and in charge. You are giving yourself the reward you actually need instead of just a temporary distraction. Now that you have that small win under your belt, let us talk about how you actually close out your day. Most of us treat sleep like a light switch. We expect to just flip it and be out. But your brain is more like a car engine. You cannot just go from 60 miles per hour to a dead stop without some serious friction. You need a ramp, you need a way to tell your system that the work is done, and it is safe to let go. The biggest hurdle is usually that glowing rectangle in your hand. I know it is hard to put it down. It feels like your only window to the world after a long day. But that light is basically screaming at your brain that the sun is still up. It keeps your internal clock spinning in circles. Try to put the phone in another room or at least across the bedroom 30 minutes before you want to sleep. This is not about being perfect. It is about giving your eyes and your mind a break from the constant noise. Next, think about your space. It does not have to be a fancy spa. Just make it cool and dark. If your room is a mess, your brain feels like it still has chores to do. Clear one small surface. That is it. Just one. It creates a little pocket of peace in the middle of the chaos. When you lay down, do not start making a list of everything you messed up today. That is a trap. Instead, think of one thing that went right, even if it was just making a good cup of coffee. I am going to be honest with you. Some nights are still going to be messy. You will stay up too late scrolling, or you will feel too stressed to relax. That is okay. You are human. Do not throw away the whole week just because you had one bad night. Progress is not a straight line. It is a series of small choices that eventually turn into who you are. You do not need to be perfect to be better than you were yesterday. I want to hear from you now. What is one tiny thing you did today that made you feel like you were winning? It does not have to be a marathon. Maybe you drank an extra glass of water, or you finally replied to that email you were avoiding. Share your small wins in the comments below. I read them and I love seeing how you are taking charge of your life one small step at a time. You have got this.